Dabbin Time. We're your hosts, Kat
And Maddie.
Discuss a wide variety of topics, and today is going to be a fun one. It's actually one that we were going to put it near the end, but then it's like, no, we want to talk about it sooner.
Oh yeah, I think it came up during just randomly talking in something else. It's just like, have we had that yet? No. Okay, this is good. I'm gonna bump it up all the way to right here.
Pretty much all. I think you gave it a couple of weeks, but
yeah,
not very long at all. And that is our priorities in gaming, and what we mean by that is. When you're buying a game, or when you're considering buying a game, or when you're even picking up a game and playing it for the first time, what in that game makes it whether you like it or not. I know I tend to prioritize probably something completely different from what Maddie does.
Oh yeah.
So we thought it'd be a fun topic. Now the four priorities we're going to talk about are the gameplay itself, the art/look, the story, and the music. That's what we're going to focus on. But there are lots of other things that contribute to a game, and we know that, but we just want to keep it simple.
Narrow it down. Keep it so we don't talk about for 3 hours, because we're getting closer to that mark. I swear to God.
I don't want to do a 3-hour podcast. These are supposed to be under an hour. What happened?
We can't shut up, apparently.
Right.
That's what happens. Also, the curse gets into effect. We haven't done it yet, so hopefully we should be good for this one. But the curse is also a thing.
The curse?
The curse. Don't say it, Kat. Don't make me say it, because then the curse is in effect.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Understood.
Excellent.
Got it.
Excellent.
So yes, moving right into it, we're going to start from the thing that we prioritize the least and move our way up to the top.
That's funny, because I think we're opposites.
Oh yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. Yeah.
So yeah, what do you prioritize the least? What if it's good, if it's bad, you just don't care?
Ow. Whoops.
Don't hurt yourself.
It's fine. So it's kind of complicated for me, because I tend to not be all oh, this makes or breaks a game for me. It's usually a combination of all these factors. But I'm just gonna go by what kind of influences it the least, I guess. But it fluctuates, as I'll give an example in a second. But usually, I think art is lowest for me.
I figured it would be.
Yeah, I don't really care if it looks hyper realistic, if it has a certain anime style, or what have you. If it looks good, great. If it doesn't, then oh well. But if it hits other marks, then I'm usually fine with it. Though some games art is kind of integral. Now it's my turn to not be able to say words, but you know what I mean, hopefully everyone.
Yeah, integral.
Integral, there we go. Thank you. Persona
welcome.
5. Because that art style is that's a big chunk of the game.
Oh yeah, no, half of my love for that game is just the UI and the style and everything and how it just fits so perfectly, and it's oh, I love this.
Yeah.
But as you said, art is a bit higher on my list. Not much, but a bit.
I wonder why.
No idea.
No idea at all. But yeah, again, sometimes depending on the game, these orders will fluctuate.
Mm-hmm.
But usually art is just on the lower end of what I look out for.
So pretty much as long as you can tell what's going on, you're happy?
Yes, as long as it's not a 200 bit rate blurry, we're good. We're good.
Oh god. That's the problem with especially streaming games. It's you have these beautiful games and then you try and stream them and it's just pixelated mess, and it's but it's so pretty. I promise you it is.
Yeah, my attempt to stream Ys 8 for the first time through PS4.
Mm-hmm.
I was so sad when I rewatched it, and I was like, oh, this awesome stuff is happening, and I remember it because I was playing it, but it's all pixelated. No.
I know when Taylor was practicing the speedrun of Ys 8, he was having the same issues. How does it look? And it's well, you're streaming from the PS4, so it's not going to look any better no matter what.
Which is surprising, because I thought he had an Elgato.
I think he does. I just think he was going for easy versus actually setting up the console to stream,
Taylor, you gotta go 100%. I'm just kidding.
But
least
anyways,
he got fun stuff out of it. It's a good game, by the way. Anyway,
it's a good game. Everybody should play it. Anyways,
moving on. Man, that didn't take off for a tangent.
You, it's art.
And what about you, Kat?
So it kind of seems counterproductive, considering we're talking about games.
Oh, I know which one it is.
Yeah.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah. The thing I care about the least is gameplay.
Okay.
There's a huge asterisk there, obviously. If a game is unplayable, I don't care how good the story, the music, or the art is, I won't play it. But I will put up with shitty gameplay if those other three are really good.
Mhm.
And it's funny though, because my favorite game, as in Ys,
Yeah, I was gonna-
the entire series is like pure gameplay. It's
Yeah.
so it's weird, but I mean, like, I don't care if a game is turn-based. I don't care if a game is action-based, as long as I feel like my inputs are making something happen on screen and I'm not dying unfairly, it won't influence whether or not I buy a game.
And then
So-
that is the thing that made me surprised, because you like Ys
A very
for-
specific.
Yeah,
type of
well, you
game.
like Ys because you like the gameplay and you like how it feels when Adol hits things with a sword, but you dislike Zelda because it
Yes.
feels like you don't do anything with your sword.
Well, okay, with Zelda, specifically the ones I've played, which I should mention, I haven't played anything Princess other than A Link Between Worlds, which I guess, yeah, came later, but is handheld. Anyways, back to the point. I feel like in Zelda, when you're swinging your sword, it just feels like slash, 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 and then either a tink against their shield or whatever they're going to use to block, or it goes through. I feel like it's a 50-50 chance of whether or not my attack will actually connect, and most of the time I'm just swinging my sword hoping that they walk into it. Whereas, like, an action-based Falcom game, I can run into the enemy and swing my sword and they will die and I'm happy. So I've noticed, like, I watched SGDQ was recently, and I was watching a bit of the Skyward Sword speedrun, and I could see that the direction of the swing was a lot more important and timing was a lot more important.
That was like a big thing of that game.
But that's the thing, that also doesn't seem fun to me, because I just want to run up to the enemy and slash and they die. That's all I want.
I mean, like, I can see where you're going for like the other Zelda games, because they've done that. As people who've listened to this podcast know, I'm still playing Breath of the Wild right now. I feel like that is a lot more running up to things and like actually hitting.
It does look like that.
Like, it's better, for sure. It doesn't feel like you're like, please run into my sword. It's a little more strategy. Like, you have the shield. You can like shield swipe the sword away. You could backflip and run in for like a quick event thing, which I love doing, by the way, and stuff like that. So I feel like that gameplay is more your style. But again, we've discussed, like, maybe you'll play it one day, but it's not high on your
if
list.
it ever goes down in price, I'll give it a shot, but it's not high on my priority list at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, as long as I can play it and as long as I don't feel like I'm dying unfairly, I don't really give a shit about the gameplay.
Okay. I'm just remembering all the times I just got one shot struck by lightning and died.
Oh god. Yeah, that would piss me right
Oh,
off. 'Cause,
man.
like, I'm already not terribly fond of being out in storms, but the fact that, like, you can be running around the world and just thunderstorm and your weapon's metal, so rip you, I guess.
Lightning hates me in that game, I swear. But yeah. Silly stuff.
So yeah, no, it's fun. And again, like I said, these are just like overalls. There's obviously exceptions to everything that we're gonna say, pretty much.
Mhm.
So moving right along, what's the thing that you care about, but it's like also not a big deal if it's lacking?
So, like, honestly, I feel like these next three are really close together.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Because my number 3 is music, and you know how much I love music in games.
That actually surprises me.
Like, I feel like I could swap my number 3 and number 2.
Right.
often.
Okay. I gotcha.
But yeah, because for certain games, for example, Monster Hunter, I turn the music completely off. Because the other things on my list or at least one of them is a lot better.
Right.
But yeah, it's hard to be like, yeah, I don't care about music. I totally care about music. If music is not there, I'm so upset.
Yeah, that's not what we're trying to say, is that, like, we don't give a shit about the thing. It's just that, like, it won't influence us one way or another. Like, let's say if the music were bad in a game, but everything else was amazing, you would still play it.
Most likely, especially if there is a way to turn it off and
Exactly.
put my own
you
stuff
just
in.
mute it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I'm
I
trying to give
understand
another
that.
example besides like Monster Hunter, but a lot of other things that I've played tends to have music that I love. Maybe like something like Rune Factory, I'd like mute it and be watching something else in the background or what
Oh,
have you.
okay.
But like, yeah, yeah, music is a good. I like it, but it's not always. It's not like a complete breaker if it's bad.
Right. Because
Uh,
most of the time, especially, you can mute it.
yeah.
So.
So like if the other things are there, it's like okay, well at least I'm having fun playing the game.
I'm curious because, we specifically stuck to music, but sound design also works in that kind of category. If a game has like bad voice acting or bad overall sound, will that sway you anyway?
Bad voice, bad voice acting actually tends to make me laugh. You
Fair.
specifically because it's usually in older games.
Mm-hmm.
Though a lot of my quote unquote bad voice or what have you has just been due to bad translations.
Right.
So it makes me chuckle when someone says grammar wrong or someone speaking in Japanese and the English subtitles are like really bad or it's hard to really describe, but like bad voice acting it prompts me to laugh more than throw it down in disgust.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's fair.
I don't think I've also played a lot of things with bad voice acting to be fair.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, you started playing games, I want to say less than 10 years ago, like 9, 10 years ago.
Um, sort of, yeah, basically.
Like, just, I
Um,
mean, regularly, not like, I know you've probably played games since you were a little kid, but
yeah, regularly playing, especially like story-based games.
yeah.
I really started playing World of Warcraft and Zelda. I think when I was 10 or 12, which was about 10 years ago.
And I was gonna
um,
say, Warcraft, I believe, has pretty good
yeah,
voice
they
acting,
actually
and
do.
Zelda doesn't have any. So
Yeah, Zelda does not matter. That just has the link, yeah, and that's 10 out of 10 voice acting right there.
oh, 100%,
Uh,
yeah.
um, but yeah, I the only times I've really noticed bad voice acting is when my brother, my middle brother, is playing something like Resident Evil 2,
Oh my
or
God, yes.
shows a certain Mega Man clip. It deliberately shows me bad voice acting. I'm like, wow, this exists, and everyone's like, yep, that exists.
What, you don't like Dr. Wily?
No, I was thinking of the what are we fighting for? It's like,
Yes.
oh god, why? But yeah, a lot of the things I play either didn't have voice acting or the voice acting was fine.
So that
So
isn't really something
I didn't
that
really
even...
think about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why it probably makes me laugh more than it makes me be annoyed.
fair enough.
Yeah. Well, but what about you? What about your number three?
This one might surprise you. It's art.
Wow, it
Yep.
does surprise me a little bit.
Yep.
But you know
No,
what? Yeah.
I knew, like, I will pick up a game based on how it looks. Like, I will. But even if a game is super pretty, if the other things on this list are bad, I won't be able to stick with it. So,
Right.
like, there's a game I picked up based on the cover called A Witch's Tale.
Hmm.
And it's a DS game that controls completely with the stylus, and it is a pile of garbage. I hate that game so much, it's hard to describe. And the best part about that garbage game is that in order to get the real ending, you have to play through it twice.
Sounds like a lot of other games I've heard of.
Yeah, so it's not. Oh, but yeah, it was one of those things to this like cool, almost Tim Burton-esque, creepy style, and then you play it and it's just awful. And yeah, but art will make me buy a game, which is why it's not last. But art, if it doesn't matter if it looks good but plays awful or sounds awful or has a shit story, I won't stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, my 3 and 4 are interchangeable versus you, which your 2 and 3 are interchangeable. But yeah, I'm trying to think of some games. Like I mentioned A Witch's Tale. I picked up Avalon Code because of the art. like everyone should Google the artist for Avalon Code because it's really, really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But that game was good, or at least I enjoyed it. I won't say it's good because it's not, but I enjoyed it.
Didn't you pick up Shining Resonance because of the art?
Yep, I will. Probably by the time this is out, it should have arrived.
Hey-o.
But yeah, it's I picked up that because of the art and because of the music in the trailer. I've heard from sources, aka Taylor, that the gameplay isn't the best.
I don't know how much I trust Taylor.
Well, and the thing is, that putting that aside, it's like I just said before, gameplay is my least give a shit thing.
Yeah.
So I'm actually like, oh, if it's the gameplay that sucks, as long as the music and the story's good, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I don't even care.
And the art's good, so I mean, like, and they all fight with musical instruments. I love that. That's awesome.
Does anyone of them have a violin? Does any one of them have a violin?
I think one of them does.
Okay, that person's.
I'm not sure. I'd have to actually look at it again because I literally saw the trailer and went, "I need this game in my life," and I bought it.
Okay.
And yeah, and then Taylor started saying how garbage it was, and I kind of questioned it. And it's like, you know what? I've already bought it. I don't want to like unbuy it and then find out it would have been something I liked and rebuy it. So I'm just taking the dip, and if it sucks, whatever. And I learned my lesson, but if it doesn't suck, then yay, fun, pretty game, or at least pretty game. The fun we'll find out, right?
Exactly. That's why you play the game.
But yeah, I'm also like, and I'm trying to think of games where I won't play them because of the art. I didn't play Valkyria Chronicle for a long time because the art style looked kind of eh.
Mm-hmm.
But I did eventually pick it up and play it, and yeah, it's good. It's fun. I know a lot of people absolutely love it. It's not, it's like a strategy game, so sometimes I'm really into those, and sometimes I'm not, and I just feel like the first-person shooter aspect of it I don't like, and that's kind of the draw.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, art is one of those things where I will buy games because of it, but I may not stick with it because it can't carry a game for me.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to number 2, what you got?
Oh, look at this brisk pace we're going.
Yeah.
God. My number 2, let me just make sure this is right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is right. My number 2 is gameplay.
Really?
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was going to be the other one. Okay.
Yeah, Kat. Yeah.
Okay, gameplay.
It like, thinking about it, I wrote this down and I'm like, okay, like, you know, does which one care? Because based on process of elimination, everyone should know what my last one is.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, does the other one carry a game more for me? And I'd have to say yes. My specific example here is this kind of goes into my last one, but Trails of the Sky. The very beginning, I hated the gameplay because it wasn't Cold Steel, and it was annoying, and it felt like crafts didn't do anything. You could only use one sort of spell, and it's like everything hurt a lot because I was playing on hard, because of course I was.
Of course.
And I was just like, oh, this is so irritating, but the story was there, and I was just like, but I want to know more. And that really like kept me going, and it got better, like 40 hours in the game, but that's still 40 hours into the game.
Yeah.
So it's like, I thought about it that way, and I was like, yeah. So gameplay will be number 2. I do tend to, I play a lot of games for the gameplay though, i.e. games that don't have story, such as Heroes of the Storm or Monster Hunter, Dead by Daylight.
Which is why, that's exactly why I thought gameplay would be your number 1, because of the type of games you play. You tend, like, as an outsider looking in, you tend to like games for how they play, and if they don't have a story, then whatever. But I can see what you're saying, when a story will carry you through a game that isn't necessarily fun to play.
Yeah, because for those games, a story is literally not present, so it doesn't even exist. So gameplay would technically be my number 1. But when in games where gameplay and story is involved, story tends to be what I care about the most. Another example is Tales of the Abyss. I got really annoyed with the phonon system and circles, and I couldn't figure out how to use a mystic art and what have you. But I had hella fun because the story was really good.
Yeah.
I kept playing. Would I play it again? Probably not, because there's an anime out there. But like, you don't know how much I really do want a remake of Tales of the Abyss or a Tales of the Abyss F.
That would be great.
Just so I could get more story and replay it and not feel annoyed. Because I would like to replay it, but that battle system really just makes me irritated. And also, yeah, those are my 2 examples. But I do dig me the gameplay. I have another example, but I'll save it for the next topic because I can't use everything in this one since they're kind of tied together for me.
Yeah.
Gameplay will be number 2. But I love games and I love playing them on hard and beating them.
Well, and that's the other thing. Going back to my number 4, there's a reason why I play games on normal and sometimes even easy. Like rarely easy, but sometimes it all depends.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes it's like I don't give a shit about playing the game. I want to experience the art, the music, and the story. I don't. The game is whatever. Because I'm a bad person. But anyway,
people can enjoy the games the way they want. But if you enjoy, if you try to, no. I was thinking of something else. Because if you try to play a game a specific way and it's not working for you, and then you blame the game developers on it when you're deliberately playing on something like a too hard a difficulty or too easy difficulty, and saying, "Oh, this isn't fun," that's on you.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Or playing a game and refusing to look up a walkthrough when you're stuck. It's like, but okay, just do it.
Yeah. I mean, everyone gets stuck, can't figure out a puzzle or what
or
have
we'll
you.
miss something that's like the clue, and it's like, oh wait, I'm an idiot. Okay, there you go. Or sometimes it's like literally just not there, and you're like, oh, okay, how was I supposed to know that?
That's when you're like,
and
game,
then
come
you
on.
can blame the developer.
Game, why you do that? But yeah. But how about you? What's your number 2? I'm trying to think of I don't know what your number 2 is actually.
Much like your top ones, these 2 are pretty interchangeable for me. Though I'm going to give the nod to my number 1 because I have played so many shitty games because of it. My number 2 is story.
Okay.
I get so invested in a story. It's ridiculous. I enjoy theory crafting. I enjoy just
that's 4 episodes.
Damn, you're right. Okay, but anyways, I like really getting invested in the story. I like crying with the characters, laughing with the characters. I love learning every little thing about them.
I like looking in depth about one character the first 5 minutes after I meet him and getting all these things from it somehow.
Look, Kevin deserves happiness. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh God. Oh no.
But, the reason why it's not number 1 is because even if a story is amazing, if my number 1 is bad, I won't play it.
Damn.
Yep. And I'll save my example till we talk about the number 1, but I'm trying to think of some examples where story helped carry a game a bit. I wouldn't say the story was good, but Darkrise Fantasia, which has probably the worst voice acting I've ever heard in a game ever, next to E6 Konami cutscene or Bandai cutscene edition. Oh my god, it's awful. And I feel bad because I think especially the one female character, it must have been like her only role. And she's just so wooden, and it's like, oh, I really want this game to be good because it feels like a Tales of game, and it looks like a Tales of game if you ever look at the cover. And that's why I got it, because it looked like a Tales of game, and I'm like, I'll give this one a chance, and it was awful, and I still haven't beaten it because it's just so, the gameplay is awful.
Ooh, gameplay is awful.
Yeah, no, the gameplay is literally hit auto and win.
Okay, that would piss me off.
It's got like a whole bunch of really complex menu systems, but I also think it's slightly action-based, despite being turn-based. It's like, you know how those Final Fantasy games will have the action time bar? It's vaguely like that, but not really, and so it's literally hit auto and win. Because actually trying to do the combat is just frustrating. So yeah, maybe that's just me not understanding the combat. And I will give it that, but yeah, it wasn't a fun game to play. But the story was interesting enough. It's not good, but interesting enough where I kept playing till I'm at the final boss. And I'm never gonna beat that game because that involves plugging in my Wii, and I'm lazy.
Plugging in your Wii, that's
Yep.
fine. It's good.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
back there.
Yeah. No, it's a good system. I like the Wii and the Wii U, even though nobody loves the Wii U.
I don't have a Wii U.
But yeah, story is one of those things where I love it. I get interested in it, but if it isn't perfect, as long as it makes sense, as long as I'm not going, wait, what? I'm pretty much okay with it. And like I said, Ys is my favorite games, and the story in those is literally Ad'll go to place, Ad'll kill God, Ad'll leave.
But Ys 8 though.
Yes, Ys 8 has a good story. I know a lot of people are like whatever on the story, but I personally feel like it has one of the better stories of the series.
Oh my god, I was like, what story? And I'm like, what story? Do you guys not pay attention?
Yeah.
No, they don't talk to every single don't do all the quests and don't talk to every single castaway
And the thing is, it's actually really easy to do all the quests in these games because there's not usually a huge cast and the map isn't that big. Like, that's one of the nice things about Ys is that it's all really contained.
Mhm.
Even 8, which has got a huge map, is still only got like, what, 30 castaways? So,
Yeah. It's so pretty.
No. It's really pretty.
It's amazing when you could stand on the top of the mountain that's in the center of the island and you could look
I know,
on
and you can
both
just-
sides and just see
Yeah.
everything. You're like,
and
this is
see like,
cool.
oh, I was there, oh, that's a special place on the map. It was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I loved every minute of that.
So good. It's where I ended my Ys game, was
That's
sitting
right.
on that mountain.
That's right.
It's like I didn't want to take it out. No.
I know. I remember you're like, if I take it out, it's not going back in anytime soon.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like,
sad.
yep. You'll
That's
do
right.
your Nightmare Hummel run eventually.
Ys 8 is right next to Tokyo Xanadu.
Oh man. Beat Tokyo Xanadu first, just so I don't accidentally spoil you.
Don't have a moment.
Yeah. Why would you say that?
They would know. I can mark it though, just in case, I guess. I'm
Alright.
loopy.
It's okay. She just got a puppy, so she's a little tired.
Puppy's asleep.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll put a picture of the sleepy puppy.
Yeah, and I was gonna like do a quick challenge to like anyone who listens. Is like, if you have listened to our previous podcast, you might be able to guess the name of my puppy.
Oh, I think they all can guess.
Oh,
it.
you could probably guess the name of my puppy. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
Um,
So, story
yeah.
important, but not essential to me. But it is extremely important. Like, if the story doesn't make any sense, I will stop the game.
Right.
How about you? We know you're
Segue.
number one, but
Segue. Story is
Yep.
extremely important to me.
Yep.
You kind of already said it perfectly. I really enjoy getting into the heads of my characters, cry with them, I laugh with them. I get to the point where I'm sometimes stupid with them. I have fallen for a stupid tricks that villains have done in games to the main characters, and I'm like hoping I'm basically in the head of the main character, and then when it doesn't happen, I'm like, oh my god, no! And then I quickly separate myself, and I'm like, oh my god, I fell for that. Oh god, oh no. It gets kind of ridiculous, but yeah, I've already said that story can drag me through bad gameplay experiences. My other, because I talked about this kind of last pod, but my other example was Breath of the Wild, where I was like, oh man, story isn't there. I'm probably gonna hate this Zelda game, and the story is there and you have to search for it, and I am more than willing to run around and search for it, even though the art's good, even though there's no music. Gameplay is pretty good, but what drags me through that game is getting every little piece of story possible. And I enjoy it. It's great. I really appreciate the fact that again, it's kind of like you are, if you play it for the first time, it's like you are Link, because you don't know, he doesn't know, you don't know, you have to run around and figure out what happened 100 years ago, and it's really fun doing that.
yeah.
Yeah. And story, man, story can hit me hard in the feels, right in the heart.
Oh yeah, no, I know both of us are criers. We just like something happens and there are tears.
I cried at the end of Use 8.
I think I did too.
I was like, this game was so good. Why is it ending? And I was like, but characters I like. I want to play as Hummel more.
If Falcom gave Hummel his own game, that would be amazing. It won't happen, but I can hope, right? Because that would be fun. Like, give us a quasi first person, third person over the shoulder, even shooter game, and I think where you're delivering shit. That would be amazing.
Please.
Falcom, please. I love you.
Falcom, come on, please. At least 2 people will buy that game. Worth it, right? Oh
Yep.
man, yeah. I can't say much more. It's just like story drags is like the reason I come back to games, and it's also the reason I put them off.
Yes.
I.e. Tokyo Xanadu. I'm at the end. I am scared. I want to know everything, but I don't want to know everything. You know?
I was worried that you were saying that you didn't like Tokyo Xanadu's story. It's like, oh, I actually really like Tokyo Xanadu's story.
Oh no, Tokyo Xanadu story is freaking fantastic. It's great. It's so anime. It's amazing.
But the thing is, it embraces that by having the song at the beginning of every chapter.
They fully embrace it. They do it right. They do it good. Yes, but a lot of the gameplay, story-focused games, i.e. most JRPGs I've played, I usually falter at the end. I take like a week, 2 weeks, 3 months break.
Oh god.
Just like the third, it also took me long to finish that. Because I don't want it to end. Sometimes it's because of gameplay, but most of the time it's like, as soon as I figure out everything, there's nothing to strive for anymore, and I'll be sad.
Yeah. I mean, I did a similar thing in Luminous Arc 2. I apparently stopped playing 2 maps from the end. It's a strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I was like, oh, I should probably just like get to the end of this chapter, and then if I don't remember what's going on, I'll replay the whole thing, because I'd put it down for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literal years. And so I picked it up and I did a map. I'm like, okay, I think I remember what's going on. And so I did the next map, and then it was the end of the game, and I was like, oh wow, past me was an idiot for putting this down so close to the end. Yeah. Usually I do it a chapter or 2 before the end, not like at the end.
I'm at the final boss screen. Let me put this down for a couple years.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Though, to be fair, the story in Luminous Arc is
I don't really care.
It's fine. Some of the music is good. Most of it isn't, but the Yoko Shimomura stuff is good.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny is I kind of do the same thing with anime.
Yeah,
as you know with Orin.
Yes.
I took so long to finish Orin because I was like, but then the happiness will end. But no, I don't want it to end.
It kills me though, because like you marathoned, I swear to God, like 18 episodes in one day, and then it was like months until you finished the damn thing, and I'm like, you're right before some really good episodes.
Yeah, you were super excited about that.
I was so excited. I wanted you to see the episodes. And then, of course, the next show I tell you to watch, you marathon in like 2 days, and I was like, wow, okay, that was unexpected.
I mean, you just didn't believe.
I just didn't believe. I didn't think you could with that show.
Watch one, she said. Watch one and stop. No, I can't. No, just do it. Okay. 5 hours later.
I didn't realize when she said no, she can't, that she actually like meant no, she can't.
Mm-hmm. I've been all of season 1, almost, except for 1.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Yep.
But anyways, so my number 1, as you can probably ascertain, is music, which should surprise nobody, considering how like I'll watch shitty anime if the music's good. I'll play shitty games. I'll watch shitty movies. As long as the music's good and the sound design's okay, I'm a happy camper. Which is why I'm not worried about reframe.
So you include sound design, like the sound design also has to be good for you?
Yes. So back to my example where I didn't play a game despite the story seeming okay because of because of number 1. So there's an old game on the GameCube called Baton Kaitos or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a card game, which I'm not a fan of in the first place. But it's like a card strategy RPG or something like that. I turned it on, listened to, and I didn't buy this game. I rented it from. There's this thing back in the early aughts where you could go to a store and rent a game and then bring it back. Yes, they don't exist anymore. Cry, cry. But
What are those?
so yeah, and so I rented the game. I put it in my GameCube. I turned it on, and the first cutscene, which had amazing music, I will say, but absolutely the worst voice acting in the sense that like it was in an echo chamber.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, it was like you could just hear this reverberation, and the mic sounded like it was too loud, and I didn't make it a sentence or two into the guy talking
Oh my god.
before I turned off the game and returned it to the store because I was like, I can't deal with the full like 20-40 hour, however. I actually think it's a longer game than that. I can't deal with that for the whole game.
Jeez.
So I know it's a good game. I've been told multiple times that it's a really good game, but I don't care.
Yeah.
If the sound design is that bad, I'm not going to be able to play it.
That's fair. Like if I played a bad sound design game, my opinion probably would change. I just haven't.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cuz I'm a youngin.
That's fine. You're also fairly new to playing JRPGs, which is where you'll get because of translation, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, especially now, there's actually a lot more focus on really good voice acting. Like,
So much focus.
I can't think of a recent release where the voice acting was wooden or just outright terrible quality, or just hiring the people who are doing the translation to do the voices. Like, we don't do that anymore. We hire professionals who know what the hell they're doing. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, another example where I can think of music not carrying me through a game is Bravely Default.
Oh, I think that was the one where just gameplay ruined it for you.
Yeah, well, gameplay and story.
Mm.
Like, the gameplay I didn't find challenging, and I found it repetitive.
Uh-huh.
And the story I figured out within the first, like, 30 minutes of actually playing the game.
You're
So then
very good
to-
at doing that as well.
Yeah, but, like, it was so obvious. I had a friend who was like, there's no way you could figure it. It's like, in this scene, this happens, and that character doesn't react. And he kind of just looked at me and like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. It's like, yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
And yeah, I just and the worst part about that is, so I stopped at chapter 4 and I asked that same friend, like, does it change? Does it, like, after you deal with this last MacGuffin, does it change? Does it get better? And he kind of just looked at me and didn't say anything, and I'm like,
Well,
that wasn't the reaction I was expecting. I was expecting a yes or a no, not silence. And then I found out what happens after chapter 4, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad I stopped playing this game where I did. But it sucks because the art is amazing and the music is like fantastic. Like, go listen to the Bravely Default OST. It is incredible.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
I believe it's done by the same person who did the Attack on Titan intro song.
Ooh.
So it's good. Like,
I
there's
also binged that.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to continue. There's been like some things developing and I'm just like, you know what? I don't need that in my life.
That's fair.
But if you continue and you like it, you're welcome to tell me.
I have a lot of anime I need to watch actually.
Yeah.
that
I
one
mean-
might be on hold.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, just have fun with it. Don't worry too much about everything else. But yeah. Other games where I've played quite a bit because of the music being good. Eternal Sonata, I wasn't really in the story, but the music was good, so I played pretty far into that until like I just kind of stopped caring because the story is so stupid. It's about a composer having like a hallucination as he's dying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like got all of his music, so the music is very classical and extremely pretty. But yeah, and I like that composer, and his name is escaping me at the moment because we didn't take notes before this episode because we're bad.
What are notes?
No, what's that? But yeah, and you know, honestly, half the reason why Ys is as high as it is on my, like, it's the gameplay and then it's the music.
Electric guitar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. Like, I think I like East more than I like Kiseki, only because the music is slightly better more often in the East games. But I also adore Kiseki with all my heart, and hopefully by this point I'll be able to start shilling pre-orders for the zine.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I don't know, so we'll see.
Mm.
If we are, we'll have a link in the description. If we aren't, well then
Have a Kev Blub.
have a Kev Blub. There you go.
Oh,
I
crap.
love Kevin.
Yeah, I know. I know. Oh, too freaking well. There you go.
But yeah, so like we said at the start, this isn't concrete. This is really just what we tend to favor in games, or what will make us keep playing a game even if something else is lacking.
Yeah, because we've had so many debates on just like, oh man, I love this for this, and then if someone's just like, man, I really hated it. It's like, but do you care about this? And they're like, no. It's like, well, I do. So like everyone has different priorities in the Gamus,
Yeah.
and
And a lot of this would also be true for anime. You don't watch as much as I, but it's like,
No.
for me, it's obviously gameplay isn't a factor, but out of the remaining categories, I'd still say it's the exact same order: art, then art
Story,
being
then-
least, and then story, and then music. Though again, music and story are pretty much interchangeable at that point. It's just like if a game has amazing story but the sound is shit, or the music is shit, or I can't mute the music, or I can't mute the voices, I won't be able to play it.
right.
Just flat out won't be able to do it because I'll be so distracted by what I'm hearing that I can't get past it. And I know that's not a good trait.
Curse those sensitive ears of yours.
I know, right?
I can hear a voice of a person from across a con.
That only happened twice.
Only twice. Ah, superhuman ears. Okay.
That's twice more than it should have, but you know.
Oh, we could also do the you can detect that one voice actor like every single time.
Yeah, I mean, it's more like 4 or 5 voice actors now, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's specifically him I'm really good at. If Hiroshi Kamiya's in anything, it's like, hey, I hear him.
I know there's one. Yeah, I know there's one who's just like, hey, it's him, and and I'm like, is it that one? Does he voice that one dude? Yeah. Oh man, fun times. Oh yeah.
No, it's always fun. But yeah, this is, oh my god, a shorter one for
Oh god. Yeah, we managed it. We did it. We broke under an hour finally.
Yep.
After.
All because you're exhausted from puppy. Yay!
What? Me exhausted? I don't know what you're talking about. Was my vague commentary not good enough?
No, it was beautiful. Everybody tell Maddie how beautiful her commentary was.
Oh god. Oh god. To be fair, probably, and no one will hear this, but at one point, a construction worker walked into my house.
Oh, really?
And, oh yeah, because he said my name. That's why because you were talking at one point, and so I kind of wasn't saying anything. He walked in, and I was like trying to talk to you, but like look at him, like make him know that like I'm doing something, but I know you're here.
Yeah.
And he pet my puppy and smiled, and I was like, yeah, okay, go. And then he walked away. And I was like, okay, I can finish this episode. Anyway, that's why at one point I was not talking. It wasn't because I was delirious, but I am a little delirious.
No, well, Maddie should go take a nap, and we've all enjoyed our time with you. If you want to spend more time with us, you can go into the description and join our Discord. That's fun times. We talk about lots of fun things. And we've even got a little corner where we post like pretty much all pet pictures.
Yeah, now it's all pet pictures, especially with a puppy, and like Cat has 2 adorable cats. Funny. And then someone else just got a cat, and oh man, pet pictures everywhere. It's great.
Yep, it's the best. And so yeah, come join our Discord. It's fun. If you like the video, that helps us out. Subscribing also lets us know that you're digging what you're hearing. If you want to suggest a topic, just leave a comment or yell at us on Twitter or Twitch. Everything is in the description. And hope you liked the shorter episode for once.
Oh man.
But we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.